Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Chris coming at you with another episode to the Beautiful Struggle podcast. And this is episode number 82. And if this is your first time tuning into the Beautiful Struggle podcast, this is the personal development and business podcast all in one. So if that sounds like something that's interesting to you, you want to tap into, we drop a new episode every single Monday of the week. Start your week off right. Start your week off with some good information and some positivity. And also feel free to share this episode with one other person that may need to hear it, because trust me, you're going to want to share this one. You guys are in for a treat today. We got not one, not two, but three guests on the podcast today. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have some fun. A little bit about my guests today. These three young men, they are professional stock traders, and they also have their own podcast show, the House Rules Podcast. Super dope podcast.
Yes, sir.
Welcoming Marlo, Luis, and Kyle. How you guys doing?
What's good? What's good, Chris?
Feels good to be
here.
Yeah, feels good.
Good. So, first of all, I have to say thank you for allowing me to come into your guys' studio and record here. If you guys are watching on YouTube, you guys can see we're not at the usual spot. So shout out to these guys for allowing me to come through, use their equipment, and record here.
Anytime.
With that being said, I can't come to the party empty-handed. You know what I'm saying? So I always bring gifts. When I come to other people's space.
Damn.
What? So we doing this on the podcast.
Damn.
We'll pull that one out.
Oh, shit. Damn.
I know y'all like to have some fun. And,
Okay.
Wow.
Stella Peach, Bochi's favorite. Yeah, okay.
And I know you guys don't drink red, but I think it'd be dope to have this.
Let me see.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, damn.
I seen that one. That one's dope.
Absolutely.
That one's good too.
Oh, damn.
Yep. Shout out to Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg's wine.
Yep.
Damn, that's clean.
So if you
I didn't even know this was a thing.
Yeah. I was gonna say, if you listen to their podcast, they're always having a good time. They're always, good information, good talks. They pour up a little bit, so I wanted to bring some
Appreciate
gifts.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it. Definitely.
Yeah.
Honestly.
So bet. So the reason why I wanted to have you guys on the podcast is because you guys are stock traders, professional stock traders. And this is something that we've definitely spoke about on the podcast before, but I feel like I was talking to you guys earlier, and oftentimes people leave different conversations and different podcasts more intimidated than motivated to invest.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So my goal for this podcast today is to break it down for the audience. I want you guys to like obviously give that value to them.
Yeah.
And I want them to walk away being confident to right after this podcast, go invest in something.
Okay.
And invest in anything really.
Right.
So that's my goal for the podcast today for sure.
For sure. Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. So before we dive too deep into it, we can kind of just go down the line. I'm curious to know, why stocks? What got you guys into the stock market? What made you guys want to start to invest in the stock market?
All right, so for me, easily it had to be the freedom. Not to mention, I just always knew I was good with numbers and math. Gotcha. And when I first got like a little taste of investing in stock trading, as help from Bochis, I was hooked immediately. And once I found out like what it can do for your life, your lifestyle, and like I said, the freedom that it gives you, I was sold immediately. Yeah, it was quick for me.
Same with me. It has to be the freedom.
Yeah.
Just having the freedom to just wake up, do what you got to do, whether it's like an hour, 2 hours, and do whatever you want after that.
Yeah. That's
what I liked about it. I mean, at first it was a struggle, a lot of hard work, a lot of hours, a lot of depression sometimes.
Honestly.
But then at the end goal, like that freedom, there's days where I can just trade for an hour and I'll be done and have the whole rest of the day to myself, do whatever I want.
Yep. So, 100%.
Yeah, credit to Bochis for also introducing me to the whole thing. Like really pushing me to get into it and actually pursue it. And once I did, similar situation. Just I always knew I wanted the freedom to be my own boss, stuff like that. I felt like the stock market was a great tool to get me there for my personality and what I was sort of looking for to get out of a career, a profession, things like that. So I think that's part of what they said. The biggest thing is
not to mention it was really fun to like look into companies I'd never heard of, and then learn what they did. And I was like, wow, okay, I didn't even know this was a thing. So I think just natural interest in different companies and how stocks helped me get there. Yeah.
So when you guys first got into stocks, did you guys come together and you're like, all right, the three of us are going to figure this thing out, or everybody was kind of doing their own research, then you came together?
I want to say it's a little of both.
Yeah.
Because like I started off on my own. I was trying to see what worked, what did not work.
Yeah.
And then when I was still pretty early on when I ended up telling these guys and they joined along.
Yeah.
Same thing. We're trying to find what works and what doesn't. Mm-hmm. But we never really like came together and be like, oh, we're doing this stock or that stock.
Yeah, because we all don't even trade the same style.
Yeah. And we trade different stocks. Like Kyle likes hit the mega cap stocks. I like the more of the medium, smaller cap stocks. Okay. And then Marlo's more like futures, the ES, the S&P 500.
Yeah,
got you.
So but we still know a little of everything. So
everybody got their own style.
Yeah, because Bochi definitely introduced us to it, but he was already doing his own thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then me and Kyle kind of came into the picture. We had a little group chat, and then it went from like us just talking about other stuff to every day just nonstop trading, stocks, investing, news, what happened in the market today. That was all we talked about. And honestly, that's still, I would say 80% of what we talk about daily.
Wow.
Yeah.
But the one thing we did do specifically was options trading.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, we can do a little of everything, but options was like more of our specialty.
Yeah.
Or is more of our specialty.
Yeah. Even though we're still well versed in shares and other things. Yeah.
Well, it's like that saying, if you learn options first, it's kind of like learning how to drive a manual first.
Yeah.
And you don't get into an automatic and it's like, well, what do I do?
Yeah.
It's easier,
right?
Once you do that.
Definitely.
So that's part of why we learned options first as well. Because if you know how to trade options, you know how to trade shares.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So.
Got you.
Because the other ones are way more complicated than the shares.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we'll definitely dive into it. Like I said, before we go any further, I'm curious. Luis, you said depression struggled. Let me know some of the three of you guys. Let me know some of the early struggles that you had. Whether it's you lost a large amount of money.
Right.
What were some of the big things that you guys had to overcome to get to this point today?
Well, one thing for me was at the time I didn't have money like that to spend or like lose, but I said, I'm still gonna take the risk.
Yeah.
Put in, I think it was on like $1,500 that I had. I was like, I can mess with this money very little, and I ended up like 3 months later losing it all. And that's one of the points where I was just like, damn, dude. Like this isn't a joke. This is like nothing. Like it's not as easy as people make it seem. Like in those ads you be seeing, like turn 1,000 to like 1,000,000. Yeah, so that was one early
because you can make money quick in the stock market, but you can lose it just as
quick. Just as quick.
Usually quicker,
even quicker. Huh?
Exactly. That was for sure one of like my.
Yeah. So Kyle, talk to me. What were some of the struggles that you had early on, bro?
Yeah, I think part of it was not being able to really truly afford the possible losses that come with taking a risk like that. And just honestly, the hardest part was finding like my niche, finding what I was good at, because that alone is the cost of tuition. Like there is no real tuition in stocks. It's the money you put in and what you learn. So that was definitely the hardest part, is blowing up accounts, trying to find my style in the first place. You know what I mean? So I think that's where Bochi's made the joke of depression. It's like you already don't really know what your style is when you first get into it. Yeah. So then losing money while doing that, it's kind of like, what am I doing? You know what I mean? Like I gave up my job for this, right? You know what I mean? So that was definitely the biggest struggle.
Yep.
I would say for me, for one, I was not a big early person. I was not someone who woke up early. Bochi can attest to that.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, like I was not that early person. And then
let people know on the West Coast what time.
Oh, we gotta wake up at. I mean, the stock market opens at 6:30 on the West Coast, but we want to ideally wake up an hour before at least.
Right.
At least.
At least. So I would say for the past 4 years, whatever, it's been 5:30 in the morning, every single day, Monday through Friday. And like I said before, I was not that person. I would wake up 9, 10, just go on my day. But obviously that's not the case now. Another thing to that point too is money that you just couldn't necessarily lose. You know what I'm saying? There's been multiple blown up accounts because trading is not as easy as the little ads say. You know, you can't just wake up, trade for 5 minutes, and then be a millionaire. That's honestly not realistic, especially not within a month.
Yeah.
People take years and years of practice just to be profitable, let alone become wealthy from it. So it definitely takes time. But again, the end result, well worth it. But early on, it was tough. blowing up multiple accounts, you know, because it's just money you'd never see again.
Right.
And you're just like, well, time to go fund my account again.
Right.
Lost $7,000. Here we go, back at it. Literally. Yeah.
Crazy. So besides the monetary and maybe like waking up super early, what are some other sacrifices that you guys had to make again to get to this point that you're at right now? Is it like maybe hanging out with friends, going out? Like, what were some of the things that you guys had to sacrifice? Kyle, if you want to hit on that first.
Yeah, that's actually interesting because we all just talked about how it gives us more freedom, but that sacrifice, it kind of is. You are sacrificing like going out and stuff like that because not even because you want to, but because it takes such a mental toll. Learning how to trade stocks is like probably, you know, I played basketball at a high level, you know, lifted weights, all that good stuff. This is the hardest thing I've ever done, ever, by far. And it's not close. Like, it's really not close. And I think it's more so because of that mental toll. So it's not even necessarily like, oh, I'm not going out because I choose to. It's like, I'm not going out because my mind is going berserk right now. You know what I mean? So I think that's one of the biggest sacrifices is just the mental toll. You have to take care of yourself because it's real. It's a real thing.
Definitely.
Yeah. So for me, it was more, I was giving up my school time. So instead of doing my assignments and class and all that, I was instead just trying to study and learn more about how to trade and what stocks are and all that. And then one thing also kind of going out a bit because since I was trying to like save up more money and not trying to spend too much, and so I can put into the market, I was kind of giving that up. So that's basically for me.
Yeah, that's honestly, I was going to say the same thing. Like, because I was a big person, I was always going out.
Yeah.
And I immediately cut everything, or not everything, but I cut back.
Yeah.
Because I knew I was like, you know what? I have to start saving some money. I have to be a little smarter with my finances to be able to fund my account.
Yeah.
And again, going out every week that's not the way to get there. But over time, I mean, you get used to it, you know. But definitely, there was a point in time where I was just like, okay, I can't be going out every single day to eat or to hang out or to, you know, it just wasn't feasible.
Now, I was going to say some of the early, if you look at some of the early struggles that you guys have, it sets you guys up really well for the future. For example, waking up early. Yeah. Instead of waking up at 10 o'clock, you know what I'm saying? By the time you wake up,
half your day is gone.
And like the rest of the world's making decisions for you.
Exactly.
You know, being more frugal with your money in the beginning, learning how to manage your time, manage your money. Now you guys are at a point where you guys probably it's like second nature to you. You know what I'm saying?
Easily.
So no, that's super dope. I'm curious, how important is it for you guys? I call y'all like a team member. Y'all's like a group. So how important is to have one another when going into business, when trading stocks? Like, how important is that for you guys?
To me, I think where it really comes or plays a factor is trusting them, because it's hard to really trust a lot of the information out there because it's just not real. People are promising you dreams and ideas that aren't realistic. Like I said, you just wake up, 5 minutes, you're a millionaire. Like, that's not how this works. And having them and we just kind of sorted through all the BS and were able to come up with the real information and essentially put it all together and came up with what we do now. And it's very easy for a beginner to fall into the trap of the ads. And together we just all would look at stuff and like, that's BS. Like, that's not real, you know?
Yeah, that's crazy.
No, I agree because like having us helps me out for sure because say like I have a bad day, if I see one of these guys have a good day, it makes me happy instead of being all mad and depressed. Or like
love that.
Kyle the other day, he called out Roku, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And I ended up looking at it. I was like, oh, let me look at Roku. Ended up making the money on Roku.
Wow.
So having that thing helps a lot. But mostly the positivity. Like one's down, oh man, I just lost money. It's all good, bro. You got it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Like, you know how it is. You lose some, you win some. You know.
Yeah. It's really hard. It's almost impossible to trade alone from the jump.
Yeah.
I think once you master it, sure, you can probably go off on your own. But coming up with them two was a worlds of difference because I can, you know, not only get confirmation, but it was kind of like, hey, I know 2 other dudes who are going through the same struggles I am right now. You know what I mean? So I could literally tell them like, hey guys, like I'm, you know, mentally not there or like whatever. And they would understand because they're going through the same thing. Exactly. And I think that's honestly a big part of of the perseverance as well. Like, yeah, you have to do it yourself, but I think having these two, man, that helped a ton too. Just being able to have two guys that knew exactly, you know, what I was going through. That was huge.
And then sharing like our information. So like if I learn something, I'm there to tell them, and if they know something, they're there to tell me. You know.
So with that being said, do you guys? I'm not trying to start nothing here, but do y'all ever get competitive of like, you know what I'm saying, with trading, or it's always like I'm saying like healthy competition?
I can't say honestly. Nah.
I don't think we've ever had anything.
Nah. Just because like what
it's all peace and love, you know.
Because like whatever they make doesn't take away from what I make. So like, I can't see it necessarily as a competition. You get what I'm saying? Like, especially being that like it's people's financial lives. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, it's not really.
No, I was just asking because, you know, Kyle was.
No, I get you.
You know, Kyle was competitive. I'm sure.
We're all pretty competitive.
We're competitive for sure.
Competitive.
Just not.
I think in this one thing,
you're just like
it's more like a collective.
We're a team.
Exactly.
Okay. That's what's
another thing is like, yo, if we're balling, then what you get.
I'm always winning, so.
I didn't want to start nothing.
But no, and it's funny you bring that up because honestly, it's like we are a team, but it's to the point where like if I make $2,000, I hope they text me that they made $4,000, or you know what I mean. Like I want them to be just as successful, or if not more than
you
me.
guys want to continue to elevate.
Exactly. Because if they do better, it will push me to do better.
Exactly.
If they are doing bad, then it's like it kind of drags down like my attitude and like 100%. Well, when am I gonna start doing bad? You know what I mean? So I want to see them like.
No, that's good. I mean, when talking about having a healthy team, if you have people that are continuing to want to push further and want to push the envelope, it's gonna want you to go further as well. And if you're like consistently the best on your team, there's no like, you don't know your potential because you're barely better than everyone else. You don't know like how further you can push. So if you guys are all pushing, you know, that's only a positive thing for you for sure. Cool. So let's walk through it. Let's walk through the process for the beginners, for the people out there that are listening and they want to jump into the stock market. Let's start with like even platforms they can use. I know there's some platforms that you guys are not a fan of, but we speaking to the beginners out there. Maybe we can progressively go to talk about the things that you guys use.
Absolutely.
So I want to make one clear distinction between trading and investing.
Yeah, that's another good thing. Not to cut you off. Is the type of trader. Because there's a difference between, you know, I'm trying to put my money in long term.
Exactly.
I'm trying to make some money today.
Exactly.
We'll
so
that as well.
I want to make that distinction that a trader is someone who is constantly in and out, usually every single day, if not maybe every week. An investor is someone who holds for the long term. Time horizon could be, I mean, ideally more than a year. Right? So what we do, or what we specialize the most in, is trading, because obviously we all actively trade. But obviously we also have our own personal investments. But I do want to make that clear distinction. When it comes to platforms, I think it's safe to say that none of us are a fan of Robinhood, Webull. What else?
TD Trade America.
So if you're gonna invest, I'm actually okay with TD Ameritrade.
I still don't like Robinhood.
Robinhood, I still don't like.
Okay, but let's break it down though. Why aren't you guys a fan of it? You know, because for any regular person, it's like super easy to use. But see, it's easy to look at.
It's easy on purpose.
Okay.
It's easy because what they want you to do is look at it as a game. They want you to just open it, not care about the price, not care about your fills, because they get payment for your order flow. So what they're essentially doing is saying, essentially the class of investors that is on Robinhood is usually the most uninformed. So they get paid the most for order flow because their fills aren't good. So the bid ask, essentially they get paid because you don't know what you're doing. Right? Now, and especially you can't even get, increments of 0.5?
Yeah, exactly.
Like your increments of 0.5 on certain things, you can only change it by 0.5. You can't go.
What do you mean by that?
Like
say a stock is costing 250.02, but you try and buy it at that, it won't let you. It'll make you buy it at 200.05.
And that difference can mean the world.
For the people who are paying for that, that's the world. Because. And that's why I think for TD, Thinkorswim, I think that's better if you're looking for shares and investing. To Kyle's point, is because you have that control. You can put exactly how much you want to buy at what price.
What platform is that?
Thinkorswim.
Okay.
By TD Ameritrade.
By TD Ameritrade.
TD Ameritrade, yeah.
Got you.
And I think especially if it's for investing, I think it's a great platform.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, honestly, I agree. I think TD Ameritrade for like holding stuff and like, actively managing an account, not necessarily trading, is honestly very, very good. Yeah. Honestly, it's very user friendly and you get a lot of information.
The other thing with Robinhood too is that it crashes so much.
Yeah.
True.
Like, it just has a lot of issues with the platform. Not to mention, you can't even get in contact with
service.
Sir, like you don't have customer service. It's just emails.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
You get what I'm saying? So at least again, I know TD Ameritrade, their platform has this issue sometimes, but at least they have a customer service.
Yeah, they're pretty good with
and they're pretty fast. They're not bad. And again, it's for investing and actively managing. It's not bad.
What about Webull?
No.
Same thing with.
I've never even looked into Webull, to be honest.
But it's the same thing as Robinhood. It's, again, they're all platforms that want the uninformed. I think it's a great intro.
Yeah.
For people who want to just get a foot in, I think that's great. But once you get a little more serious about investing and your overall financial goals, I think you should switch to something a bit more professional.
I mean, all the big investors I know don't use any of those platforms.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So for people that want to just put their money for long-term investing, you would say Thinkorswim?
I think so.
Yeah. TD Ameritrade. TD
Yeah.
Ameritrade, there's E-Trade, TD Ameritrade, Fidelity,
Charles Schwab.
Yeah. These are all good platforms.
Yeah.
I just, again, I'm not a fan of Robinhood, Webull, and all the other ones because
it's so hard to honestly, like they say it's easy, but I honestly feel like it's hard because it's so easy, if that makes sense. Like I tried to use it and I hated it. I thought it was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Wow,
honestly.
that's interesting.
So and it's supposed to be easy, and I couldn't stand it.
Yeah.
So I would
not to mention on Robinhood, right? And I'm not a big person for charts, but you can't even look at a chart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like how you can't even look at a chart on Robinhood. You just have like a few candles and that's it.
Yeah.
At least on Thinkorswim, you have, the market data and you have the power to look up past years and overall performance, whereas Robinhood is just a couple candles. So, yeah.
And you can also hire someone to manage your trading portfolio, correct? What are they called?
Financial advisor.
Yeah,
financial advisors.
Yeah,
okay,
do that,
cool.
yeah.
I personally don't believe in, but
why not?
I feel like 90%, which I think is a pretty accurate number, are selling you something. They're not advising your money. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like they're selling you some sort of advising package,
and that's from experience.
Money. Yeah,
I know people who are in that, and they've told me that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
Like they've literally told me that we're not necessarily doing right by the customer. Yeah. It's just I'm being told what to sell them.
That's interesting.
Not to mention, I'm a firm believer in if you just put a little work in, it is very much possible for you to invest all on your own and be very successful.
Got you.
Invest, not trade. I'm saying specifically investing. You just do a little homework, get familiar with how the market works, look up companies that you like, and do your research and invest. That's really
Got you. So what are some resources and some places that you would recommend for people to go do their homework at? So they're like, okay, we got our platform. We're trying to learn this. Where can we do homework at? Where can we go learn this? And I guess the other question to that is, what type of trader are you again? Because options trading and long-term trading, you're going to be doing different type of education.
Definitely.
Research.
Yeah.
So 99% of the people who end up listening to this and like taking the advice are gonna fall into like basic shares and stuff like that. Honestly, start at Yahoo Finance. That's a very, very great
Yahoo
tool
Finance,
for beginners. It's honestly awesome for beginners because it gives you so much information that you can learn from, and everything's easy to find. So I would say start there. As you get a little more advanced, you can use stuff like FinViz and stuff like that.
Bar charts.
Yeah, bar charts to actually find specific stocks you're looking for that maybe aren't as common as your Apple, Microsoft, stuff like that. But I say, if you're coming in kind of with nothing, Yahoo Finance is going to be your best friend for a little bit, to be honest.
Well, we're talking about we're talking about trading,
I think
it's more like trial and error for me.
Okay.
Okay, talk about it.
But because honestly, everything you learn, no matter like how much you study and all that, you're not gonna know how it really is when you're actually doing it.
Yeah,
Trust me, most of the time, all the stuff you learn don't even end up working when you're actually doing it.
No, that's a fact.
Yeah.
That's almost like when people say you're going to school to get a business degree, but you're not gonna fully know what's going on, or what to do unless you're in that situation, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So, and then TD Ameritrade, what I like about them is that they have like a thing where you can do paper trading.
Yeah, that's good.
That's one perfect way to practice. You still can practice on live.
Yeah, talk
data,
about paper
everything.
trading. That is a really helpful tool.
That honestly, I should have done that when I first started.
Yeah,
It would have saved me a few thousands, but that's a perfect way to start if you really want to become a trader and like serious about it. Because even though it's not real money, you still learn how like everything works in real time.
Yeah. So basically, what they'll do is, quote unquote, they'll give you money to play. I shouldn't say play around with, but use in the stock market.
Yeah.
And it's not actually your money, but it's just paper money.
Exactly. You'll see whether they're like, oh, if you do this, I actually made money or not. If you lose,
you're able to back test all your strategies.
Exactly.
The trial and error. You get to, you know what? I think this may go up. Cool. Buy some shares, see what happens. So, yeah.
Got you. How do you guys feel about investing in, so for like beginners and whatnot, how do you feel about people investing in stocks or companies that they just like? For instance, Tesla, Nike, like that being a starting point. Or where do you think people should be looking at when investing in stocks?
I like that.
Yeah, honestly, I was going to say.
Yeah. And those are companies that are known for a reason because they've been well established and been around for so many years. Yeah. So I don't think so. Like I think Nike, you're never gonna see it go anywhere. To be honest,
no, that's the biggest retail.
Exactly. Yeah. Apple, everyone uses iPhone. Like, come on. Yeah. So those are good companies to start and maybe just have your money in.
And I think I'll bring up one, Ulta. Like
nobody,
you just gotta kind of look around at what's going on. Oh, you know what? Your girlfriend buys a lot of makeup. Where does she go? Ulta. Cool.
Yeah. There's stores. I'm not saying Ulta stores in a lot of big retail.
Exactly. I'm not saying it's that simple. I'm just saying.
Sometimes it is. Honestly,
but sometimes it really, you don't have to make it too complicated.
Exactly.
Right? People want to go look for penny stocks. People want to go look for a company that they've never heard of.
The next SPAC.
Exactly. They're looking for like the next GME. It's not that difficult. I mean, there's different ways you can, take, but I don't think that's a bad one.
Like it's Starbucks, Kyle's favorite.
Yeah.
And then like one quick advice, a quick tip is, and if the stock is pulling back or dropping a bit, don't panic, don't worry. It's like you're investing in it for a reason. It's long term, Apple's not, like I said, Apple's not going anywhere. If anything, if Apple's going down and I get it cheaper, I'm gonna add more to it instead of trying to sell and I lose more money,
Yeah, that's one thing I wish I could have screamed on top of like the tallest building in California or wherever. Like, Apple's going down for no reason, buy more. Don't sell. I had somebody say, well, I'm losing money on Apple, and I'm like, no, you're not. You're invested in Apple. Yeah. You're not losing anything.
Exactly.
It's going down. It's getting cheaper. Exactly. If anything, you should be buying more. You're 100%. Not losing anything.
Unless Apple was to say like, oh, we're done doing iPhones and this and that, then I'll be like, okay, maybe I should pull my money out. But
exactly.
You know what I mean?
And how do you guys feel about penny stocks? You guys mess with that?
Nope.
What are your thoughts about that?
Look, they're penny stocks for a reason.
Is it like not part of you guys' strategy, or what is it?
Okay, for me, in nicer terms, I just don't care about it. So I never really try to put the time or effort to try and actually learn about it. Can people make a living? Probably. It's just not my
thing. It's not my penny stocks are easily, not to say the overall stock market can't be manipulated, but penny stocks have such a low float that they're easily manipulated by a big investor. Easy pump and dump schemes.
Okay.
Those things do happen. Not to say, to Boy's point, you can make money from them. It's just, that's not something you want to invest in.
Yeah, the last thing you want is some schmuck with a $2 million account to be able to manipulate a stock, and that's what penny stocks allow. That's the problem.
And also, I don't want to be in something knowing that I can get out of. You get what I'm saying?
Got you. Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
So like, I'd rather be in something where if I were to sell, it'll sell immediately.
Exactly. And penny stocks aren't like that.
I won't get trapped up here.
Yeah, the liquidity isn't there for you to just to sell. Like, if I want to sell 100,000 shares of Apple, I can do it like that.
Tesla, any of that.
Tesla, same thing. But penny stocks isn't like that. The liquidity isn't there. You can't just sell it at a whim. It's gonna take some time, or you may not even get that sell. So it's
so what do you mean by you won't be able to sell it? It's because let the people know there's somebody on the other end that has to buy it, right?
Exactly.
Pretty much.
Yeah. You're gonna get stuck because no one can take 100,000 shares of your penny stock. Like that's no one wants to take that.
Yeah, at the price you're asking for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, especially at the price you're asking for.
Yeah.
So, penny stocks, I think it's a hit and miss.
Yeah.
Especially again when it comes to investing specifically, I would stay away.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, the only penny stock I've ever seen actually work out is Neo. Neo was at one point a $2 stock.
Wow.
And that's not really considered. Like,
And that's but
If you want to
like
count
cutting it.
GameStop,
That's like
yeah.
okay,
you
but
know?
monetarily, you know,
yeah, you're right.
you technically it'd be
Neo's,
a penny stock.
the car company, right?
Car company in China,
Chinese
yeah.
Tesla,
car,
basically.
Yeah, and
Basically Chinese Tesla.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And at one point, it was a penny stock. That is the one I've seen over the past 4 or 5 years that has actually worked
And
out.
it's actually like established now.
Yeah,
So,
now
you
it's
know what I mean?
exactly. So that should tell you the track record of that. Yeah. So
Yeah. What about ETFs? Is that a good play for people to invest into
I think so.
long term?
Yeah,
100%,
absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
especially for the
sure.
long
Yeah.
term. I mean,
Yeah.
they allow
let people know what ETFs are and like what's the foundation of it.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So an ETF is an exchange traded fund. Essentially, that allows you to be like in the overall market. So if you're in the QQQ, right, you're essentially in tech.
Mhm.
The
So
NASDAQ, right?
and then,
Yep.
yeah, tech, the
Mhm.
Nasdaq. So you're in that specific sector.
Yeah.
And then if you're in S&P 500, so you'd be in SPY. That ETF is like financials, tech. What's that? Oh,
Yeah, consumer discretionary.
Yeah, consumer discretionary.
Quote unquote blue bloods.
Exactly. Yeah. And then
Just so they can understand too, what are a few stocks that are in the Nasdaq?
Nasdaq,
QQQ.
JPM. Like okay, so in the S&P 500, you'd have JPM, which is Chase, Bank of America, Apple, Tesla now.
Yeah.
Tesla now.
Boeing, right?
Boeing.
I thought is
Oh,
Boeing
Boeing's
Dow?
industrials. Boeing's
Yeah,
industrials.
Boeing's
yeah.
Dow.
Because they have medicals in S&P 500.
Yeah.
What's the medical one?
T-Doc.
No, that's still not. It's supposed to get in the Nasdaq.
Yeah, there's another one. But point is, there's also medicals stocks in the S&P
So
500.
I think a simple way someone explained it to me. I had seen it in a YouTube video. They said essentially what an ETF is, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Is if you're going to a grocery store and you're walking down the aisle, you're in the cereal aisle, you pick out one cereal. That's one company. That's like Tesla or whatever.
Yeah.
But an ETF is essentially the whole aisle.
Yeah.
It's like,
much.
what was it? What's inside a QQQ?
Tesla, NVIDIA. Yeah.
Yeah,
chip
all, like
sector,
it's a
stuff
bunch
like
of the
that.
companies
Yeah.
in one aisle that you're investing in. If
Yeah,
that makes
100%.
sense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a good explanation. But like, yeah, one's tech, one's industrials, like the Dow. So, but I think that's a great route, especially if you don't want to be like a stock picker, which people are very nervous about being stock pickers, because if you bet on one and you're wrong, then it doesn't go well. But being an ETF, it allows you to bet on the entire market in that sector, and you don't necessarily have to just, you don't have to just rely on Apple. So that's good.
And on average, the market goes up like 8% a year. So
Exactly.
It's like, you know what I mean? That alone is way more than any savings. So it's like literally dump the amount of savings into an ETF. You're literally gonna almost guaranteed 7-8% a year.
Yeah, for
And if
sure.
I'm not mistaken, you
Yeah.
can go to these ETFs websites and you can check what specifically they're investing in and how much they're investing in. So like maybe they're heavier on Apple or something like that.
Yeah.
That can give you
Yeah,
clues.
it'll give you a little percentage.
Yeah. That's interesting. So what are some other EFTs? Like there's QQQ.
SMH, that's a semiconductor. That's the one that I think everyone should be in, because IWM is the small cap stocks. DIA, which is the Dow.
Yeah.
What else?
I mean, then you're starting to get into like leveraged ETFs.
Yeah, you don't want to stay away from
they're,
those.
They're fine, but it's like
The VIX.
if it's you're doubling the loss, and then there's like crude oil and stuff like that. But I think the main ones you'd want to stick with are
there's
SPY,
there's even like
QQQ.
ARK Investing. Kathy Woods has an ETF. So you can kind of bet on Kathy Woods' ARK Investment Group, which I think that's a good ETF to be in. But if we're talking like the mainstream ones, is SMH, the DIA, SPY, QQQ. And financials. What's the financial one? XLF. So the financial sector. So you can be in a little bit of everything, but
I think the best one's SPY, to be honest, and QQQ.
For me, it's SPY, QQQ, and then SMH, the semiconductors, because chips aren't going anywhere. So
Interesting. Earlier, Luis, you brought up options trading. Do you want to kind of break down in simple terms what option trading is. And it's interesting, Kyle, you said that you would recommend learning options first. That's interesting because, I mean, it's really complicated, but it makes sense because if you can learn that first, you can pretty much do everything else.
Exactly.
When it comes to investing.
It honestly saves you time in the long run. Like,
good.
I have people who know a lot about shares, and they're asking me questions about options. Like, they don't know the market. And it's like, you know, so if they had learned that first, it wouldn't be an issue. You know what I mean? So that's why I would recommend learning options first, because then you already know how shares work.
I feel like options is probably the hardest one to learn, to be
Easily,
honest.
yeah, because they have too many.
Unlike
many
shares,
factors.
unless the whole company just goes to zero, for options, you can lose all your money within like the week. Next week, depending on like what weeklies you buy and stuff like that.
Okay, so let them know again. What's like the foundation of it? How does it work? You know, what's an option?
So it's basically I don't know how to say the right term.
It's a derivative.
Yeah.
So it's a financial instrument, it's a derivative, it's a contract. So you're betting on the stock going up or down.
It gives you the right to own shares at
a
the
certain
contract price. At a certain price. So say one contract equals 100 shares. So when you buy one contract, you're technically owning the right to own those 100 shares at the time. So that's what it basically is.
But no one actually executes it at on the Friday.
Right?
Yeah, they never exercise the option. They usually just trade the option. So as the value of the option contract goes up and down, that's what they're trading. Yeah.
It can get a little more complicated than that, to be honest.
You can keep going.
Yeah, I mean,
because there's a lot to it. There's like the Greeks.
there's the Greeks, there's delta, gamma, theta. Those are the things that make options so complicated. And for anyone out there saying that options trading is easy and that it's simple or that anyone can do it, I'll stay away from those type of people. Because it's a very difficult. Again, there are like mathematicians and engineers and people with PhDs who are like market makers. Those are people who come up with. So it's a lot.
Yeah, and contrary to popular belief, just because, like, if I own a call, which call is for when you want it to go up, put is for when you want it to go down. If we're talking about buying them, it's not as simple as, well, I bought a call, the stock went up, therefore the value is going to go up the same amount.
Exactly.
Like, no, it actually goes up. It's completely different almost.
Yeah, because then you could buy strikes.
Yeah.
So if you can buy like the 30, 35, 40 strike. Then you could buy expiry dates. So you could buy next week. You buy 2 months. You could buy 2 years out.
Yeah.
So it gets very, very complicated. Yeah.
So when you guys are purchasing on the dates, what determines, you know, which dates that you guys want to purchase on?
It's based on your trading plan. Yeah. Honestly, because like for me,
based on your trading plan.
Okay.
Because for me, I'm a scalper, so basically I do quick trades every morning, meaning I'm not looking for anything even for the next day.
Yeah.
So I just buy the same week because it doesn't matter. I'm not worried about time. My time is literally a minute or two at the longest. So I buy whatever the closest week is and go from there. I don't have to worry about, well, I need, 3 weeks and then, maybe give myself 2 extra weeks just in case. Like, I don't have to worry about any of that.
So you saying, depending on, let's just say Apple, they're supposed to come out with some news today.
Yeah.
You're gonna bet on the stock dropping.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be there like in and out like within minutes, right?
Yeah.
Got you.
Oh, Kyle's quick.
Yeah.
Kyle,
I don't think he's even in there for a minute.
Yeah.
He's sitting there like seconds.
Yeah. To be honest, master scalper. Like this man is quick.
There's times where I'm like, guys, you guys saw this one? It'll be like 2 minutes
in
into
and
the
out.
market, like, hey, look at this one. And Kyle's like, oh, I'm already out. Like, already done.
Yeah,
for
that's
the day.
funny because last time I was here, you guys were like, man, try to stay away from the people that tell you what stocks they're jumping into.
Yeah.
Because with you guys, by the time I were to even tell you, like, I'm already out.
late,
Like,
yeah.
I'm out.
There's no way anyone can do what Kyle's doing after him. Like, he can't tell you what to do.
Yeah.
Because he is that fast.
I would honestly, like, if I had a subscription program, like Marlo said, all of my people would lose money.
Yeah, it's because
Honestly.
it's too hard. There's no way you can go from buying something, let me go tell them, to come back. Like, Kyle's already done by that time.
Yeah.
That's a Kyle strategy,
He's
by the
already
way.
brushing his teeth.
He's already, my boy's already, like, sending his P&L to the group chat, like, yo, guys, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, Warzone? Like, straight up. It's just,
Okay, so I'm curious. What are your guys' I know you guys have different strategies.
Yeah.
So can you kind of break down each individual strategy that you guys have? I know Kyle is a scalper. He goes in and out pretty quick.
Right.
You know, what is something that you do?
So I usually just trade futures now. Futures, yeah. Literally just futures contracts. So the ES, the NQ, and it's different from options trading, but it's also derivative. And to be honest, I'm mostly scalping and position day trading. So I got hold for, let's say, minutes up to, let's say, 30 minutes. But I don't hold overnight. But then obviously there's the swing trading strategy where you literally can hold for days at a time. But I know Bochis is more so in that.
I'm more of everything, to be honest.
True. Yeah.
What I do is like same thing, like how Kyle scalps early in the morning within seconds. I kind of do that, but in a smaller size. So I'm gonna start off my day with like a small position to start my day off, whether it's green or red, whatever. It's not gonna be a huge win, but it's also not gonna be a huge loss. But what I like to do is I like to look stocks, look at kind of research them during the day, see what's going in and out. Like if people are buying a lot or selling a lot, and hold within like. Well, usually I hold for like an hour or two.
Yeah, because he does a lot of intraday trading.
Yeah. So Bochis is severely underselling himself right now.
Yeah.
He's one of the better position traders that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I can't even do the trades.
You gotta have a lot of patience.
I'll try to follow his trades, and most of the time he comes out green and I'll come out red, just because I'm not patient enough, and he's got the patience of like a stubborn bull.
He's got
like
like the whole meme now is like diamond hands. Cause he has diamond hands, but he was the originator of that. Like my man has been having that for like 2 years now.
Crazy.
Like,
and I wish I could like paint that picture, but I can't. You just have to see him do it. There are so many plays that he's like, I like it here, looking for this target, and I'll try to take it. Just doesn't work for me. But he's like literally to perfection.
And to what Marlo was saying earlier about swing trading, what swing trading basically is holding a position overnight, whether it's a day, 2 weeks, whatever, a month. That's what swing trade is. And sometimes I like doing that, where I like to look at the bigger picture of the stock, like the time frame, like the candles, and seeing like, okay, this has like this kind of like it's in an uptrend, and I see it has potential to go up like $5-6 more. And then that's when I'll get into a swing trade and hold and buy myself like a month out of contracts.
Got you. Okay, dope. So I'm curious to know if you guys can drop us 5 important principles when it comes to investing and trading. Is it like don't invest what you're willing to lose? Like what are like 5 pieces of advice that you would give to the audience?
For me, number 1 has to be risk management.
Okay, talk about it.
Yeah, you have to have some type of plan. You have to have some type of risk management. I mean, you have to know what you're willing to lose. You can't just go in a $10,000 position and then just say, oh, well, I'll just lose it all. And that's what people do. Or people say, they're just, oh, you know what? I'm down $7,000. I might as well get out now. But how did you get to that $7,000? Like at some point you got to have a plan. Say, you know what? If this stock drops 10%, 20%, I'm out. No matter what, I'm out. So I think that's important, especially if you're investing. You have to have some type of cutoff, because whatever you're investing in must not be working at the moment. And with trading, same thing. You have to have some type of stop loss, an area where, you know what, if this hits here, I have to get out, so I don't lose my entire investment. Because preserve. And number 2 would be preserve your capital. If you can't, the only way to do this is if you have capital. To Boch's point earlier, it was in the beginning. It was hard because like there's a lot of money you didn't want to lose. And if you don't have the capital, you can't be in this.
A lot of people don't realize that like their first look, unless you're elite, it only takes a year to become profitable. Most people who get into day trading aren't elite, so you got honestly 3-4 years. You're just having your account survive. You're not even like paying yourself in most cases. Most people don't realize that when they get into it. So preserving capital is huge because you have to survive like the first couple of years. If you don't, well, now it's back to the 9 to 5 to fund my account again and start all over. You know what I mean? So
okay, what would be a third one that you would say?
Third one is discipline, which kind of ties into the first 2 because if you don't have any discipline, you're not gonna stick to your risk management and you're not gonna preserve your capital. So you got to be disciplined enough to stick to the plan. It doesn't matter if the plan goes wrong. It doesn't matter if it goes right. it's the plan. You know what I mean? So you always have a plan for it going well. You always have a plan for when it doesn't go well.
Exactly.
So that's why I say discipline.
I said the other one probably will find the best strategy that works best for you.
Yeah.
Strategy.
And try to stick with it. I mean, when the market kind of always have to kind of adapt in a way, but it doesn't necessarily mean you got to change your strategy completely.
Yeah.
So where like Kyle, like he loves scalping. That's his strategy. That's his thing. As soon as the market, he's already in and out. So find something like that you can just
works for you.
works for you, yeah.
And I'm gonna round it out with 5. Has to be patience.
Patience. Okay.
Has to be, especially if you're again an investor. Time is on your side. Time, again, to Kyle's point, you're not losing an apple. It's an investment. Like, you just wait it out. As long as the U.S. economy continues to grow and Apple continues to do what it's doing, it is going to continue to go up. Sometimes it is that simple.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't have to. You don't have to break it down. The reason why people make it so complicated is they don't want you to do it. They want the financial advisor wants you to do it for you, because that's how they get paid. So it's not always that complicated. So if you're patient enough and you pick a few good stocks, and honestly, if you can't pick stocks, just get an ETF, as you said, SPY, QQQ, SMH, DIA, and just write it out. And over the next 30 years, I promise you, you'll be fine. The only way you're not fine is if our entire U.S. economy collapses.
Exactly.
And if that's the case,
we've
got bigger problems. Like,
Right.
We're not going to be doing many podcasts. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to get real tough out here. So as long as that's not the case, it should be solid.
All right. Cool. So now I'm curious about how do you guys feel about these trending stocks that are all over TV and whatnot?
Meme
such as
stocks.
GameStop.
Yep.
Well, what's going on with this? Like, how do you guys feel about this? I know you guys probably still find areas where you can make money on it, but like, what the heck is going on with GameStop and some of others? These what do they call them? Like
meme stocks. They're just
meme stocks. That's what they call them.
Pretty much what most of it is. It's all huge short float or huge short interest, which just means
short
people.
Float, short interest.
Same thing. Whatever. Yeah. So essentially, people are selling shares and they're borrowing shares and putting them out on the market, and at some point they've got to buy those back. But as the stock goes up, they're losing. Again, when you buy a stock, you know how much you can lose. You're going to lose 10 grand or whatever it is. If you're shorting a stock, the amount you can lose is infinite. As long as the stock goes up, you keep losing.
Wow.
So what happened was essentially there was an 150% short flow. Am I right? 150?
Yep.
So that means there were more shares being sold short than there were actual shares for the company. So
corruption much?
I mean, that's how that even ended up happening is insane. The hedge funds and overall just any investors who were in that, I question your risk manager, like your risk manager at whatever fund you're at. How do you not step in and say, hey, like, this stock is being shorted 150%, like maybe close your position, because any day now it's gonna explode.
Right.
So that's what happened. People they saw that, they took note of it, and everyone poured into it, causing other people to buy it up. And obviously, if people are closing their positions, what's happening? They're buying it, continuing the price up. So yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, the whole meme stock thing, like it's good in the sense of like showing that how corrupt the market could be at sometimes. Just with when you're dealing with the 1%, there's always going to be that element. I hate it in the sense that it takes away from what I'm looking to do each day. You know what I mean? So like when GameStop and all that stuff was all the rage, well, I don't want to trade GameStop because it's a dumpster fire. Yeah. So what else is there for me to trade? You know what I mean? So that in that case, it gets messy for the veterans, if you will. For the people that don't want anything to do with stuff like that, it was a mess, honestly.
Yeah, it went on for a while too, huh?
Yeah,
it did.
I feel like it's still going on. I still see people talking about like we gonna ride it out.
To the moon.
Yeah, you're right.
To the moon, yeah.
But the ride's over. I'll tell you that. The ride is over, guys.
It's time to unbuckle your seatbelts.
It's been, people are off that train.
How do you guys feel about? And this is kind of switching gears here. How do you guys feel about cryptocurrency?
I like it.
I believe in it. Big believer.
Okay, talk about it. I wouldn't think that.
It's funny because we were speaking about it earlier, how we kind of like in a way regret listening to ourselves and others when they were telling us about it.
Yeah, because it's not like I've always believed in it. Well, not always, but in the past 2-3 years, I've believed in it. I think personally it goes to 100, 150K. And then I've had people who I trust who were like, oh, you know what, you should get in. Like, it's only $7,000 right now. And there are people who were trading it from like hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll take this person's advice. I honestly just never got around to it. It was that simple. I just like never actually did it. It had nothing to do with I didn't believe in it. And I mean, with funds like Goldman Sachs now is going to offer it to their high net worth investors. Tesla buying $1 billion worth. It's only going to continue to go up.
Yeah,
The
Sacramento Kings now.
I was just gonna say the NBA. Yeah.
So again, it's only with obviously if the Sacramento Kings are not going to pay you in Bitcoin, what has to happen? They have to own the Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Again,
so
Bitcoin. I know it's a whole like hodl. It can get kind of memey, but like it's something to for sure believe in, and not just Litecoin or Litecoin, Ethereum. That entire space is
a bunch of them. For sure.
Yeah.
Again, just maybe not Dogecoin. That's
That's like another meme stock.
That's where I'll cut my, that's where I'll cut in and be like, not that one, because I was literally, exactly. I was literally created as a meme.
And it's crazy because you got people like Elon Musk that are, he's pushing it. People.
He is.
A lot of celebrities are out there talking about.
They
it,
are,
they're gonna
but
take it to the moon.
Again, if we're talking a safe investment, I would say Bitcoin, Litecoin, or Ethereum are more in that realm. Yeah. Whereas Dogecoin is more of a speculative play.
Yeah, if you got $10, laying
around.
Sure.
Again,
sure.
Exactly. But if you're looking at, I have
my whole savings
account, which is like $30,000, don't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Instead, go get Litecoin, Ethereum, and over the next 5 years, you'll be fine.
But see, this is why I love the stock market, all that stuff so much, because even though we didn't take advantage of it, it shows how you can really make so much money off
exactly.
this. And like GameStop changed so many people's lives in the good and bad way.
Yeah. I mean, a couple episodes ago, I had my guy Royal on, and he's like, on the internet, he's known for the crypto dude, you know? So, and I was talking to him about it. He's like, well, I'm like, people feel like it's too late. And he's like, people were saying it's too late at 7,000,
exactly,
20,000.
Yeah,
people were saying it was too late 60. At 2,000.
People were saying it was too late at 40,000. Right. It is now near 60.
Yeah. And he was saying what was interesting to me is he's like, Bitcoin is cool. It's something that you can hold for a long term. But the people that he's around, they're looking at things that are up and coming. They're looking at like, picture Bitcoin, the car. He's looking at what's in the hood, what's driving Bitcoin to go up. With the technology. He's looking at those companies.
Yeah, blockchain.
And I'm like, that's crazy because when we think of crypto, we think of Bitcoin, and it's not even something that he's really investing in too much. He's looking at Ethereum and other things out there.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah, it's just like the stock market. We're trying to see whether Square was one big one
exactly
that came out a year or two ago that people were iffy about, but if you look at the valuation of the company and all that, it looked like a good thing.
Yeah, and funny enough, we have Coinbase who's going to IPO next week. And they are a crypto platform. So you maybe, like you said, it's not always just about Bitcoin. I mean, there's Coinbase there for you who is a crypto trading platform. It's now going to IPO and you could buy shares of. So there are different forms in which you can partake in the movement. But for anyone, I don't understand the non-believers. It doesn't make sense. Like, it's almost like you're just resisting future. Same thing with it's the same thing with the Tesla. The whole car electric thing. You're just resisting the future. It is inevitable. Will the gas car ever just completely? Probably not. I'm sure there'll be some cars like that, but it is inevitable that the majority of cars are going to be electric. There's no point in even resisting that.
See, that's why another thing I love about the market is gives you so much knowledge about different things. Like teaches you about EV. Oh, I like trading this Tesla. What's this Tesla stock? Let me look into it. Oh, that it does this. I just learned something new now.
Very true.
Now I look at things and businesses completely different from what I used to now.
Even a computer.
I'm
just like, okay, this is built using a graphics card.
Exactly.
A chip. The Corsair. Corsair IPO'd I think last year.
The gaming.
They make power supplies and different computer stuff. But again, all came from just trading. That's how
That's why now I know a lot about different companies. When someone brings something out, I'm like, oh shoot, I actually know that. I can trade that last week.
Exactly. Yeah.
But that's what I love about the market.
Yep.
Dope. I mean, we can start wrapping this thing up. I know you guys gotta move in a bit. I had a couple more questions.
What's up?
One question not related to the stock market.
Okay.
If you guys can make one change to the world for the better, what would that change be? And you can change anything, literally anything.
Oh,
Damn.
You guys all sat back like,
That's a deep question.
Yeah, that's tough.
you can change anything.
man.
And by the way, I'll let you guys think about it. If you guys been enjoying this episode, enjoying the information, please share this podcast with one other person that needs to hear this episode. Check out their podcast called House Rules. It's available on all platforms, correct?
Everywhere. YouTube, everywhere.
Yeah, these guys is killing it. You guys hear the conversation. I mean, they're just full of knowledge. We can probably be here all day.
Oh,
but,
easily.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Yeah.
For
If you can make
me,
one change,
I think it would have to be homelessness.
Okay.
I like that one.
It's just
Damn.
It's hard for me to see someone just out there and have to think that they have no roof over their head. The way, because I never really processed it until recently, maybe a couple of years ago. I was like, damn, it's cold in here. And I was like, imagine if I was outside.
Yeah.
Imagine how freezing it must be out there. And to like know that these people, unfortunately, are also like just on the street, cold as hell, no shelter, nothing. That's pretty sad. Especially, I mean, overall in the world.
Yeah, I mean, we in Cali, we at least got some good weather.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. I would say maybe here it's not as affected, but imagine in some places
The Midwest,
it's unbearable.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something I would change,
that.
especially in the U.S. Obviously in the whole world, but in the U.S. specifically, I don't understand how that's even a thing.
Right. I love that.
Damn, Loki took mine, but another one. It might sound kind of funny.
Yeah.
But
Now go ahead.
Probably like haters.
Okay, talk about
If
it.
we didn't have haters and people being so negative all the time,
Yeah.
like instead of bringing someone down, and we didn't have haters, we'll have people just bring each other up.
Yeah,
To
positivity.
make you like bring
More
out the best
self-esteem.
version of yourself. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Make you work harder. Like, hey man, I see you do this. Hey, good job. Hey.
Yeah.
Or, like I love positivity. It makes me
Yeah.
want to. It motivates me more. It makes me want to do better. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Kyle, I'm gonna let you go right after, but I'm gonna let you go right now. But I have a comment about hate.
Yeah.
Go
Go ahead.
About it after. Real quick.
Let's
Go
hear
ahead.
it. Yep. No. Oh, you want me to go
No,
first?
go ahead, Kyle.
Oh,
You go ahead. Say your.
You're leaving us a cliffhanger.
I was all like, oh shit.
I think I would do education. Less about like we don't need to learn. Well, you need that. That's the foundation for trading in the first place.
Yeah.
But like
Trigonometry.
history, for instance, we don't need to be learning the same historical lessons.
They don't even teach it right.
Great, exactly. They don't
That's what I was
even.
about to say.
They don't even teach it right.
Doesn't even teach it right.
So not only do they
still
not
say the pilgrims are like heroes, bro.
Exactly. So they don't even teach it right, and they teach it to you multiple times in multiple grades. That's kind of stupid. Instead, we should be focusing on things like learning about stock market,
Personal
learning
finance.
about
Taxes.
learning about taxes, learning about real estate,
real life stuff.
Exactly. And I know it's kind of cliche, but it's also true because a lot of people grow up past college and don't even know how to handle themselves. Credit.
No one ever talks to you about credit.
Exactly.
Like straight up.
What's
and that's
that?
literally the
What's
most
that?
that's probably
What is that?
in terms of life, like maybe the top 3 thing you need in the US.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
Personal finance, your taxes, and credit.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know that, you got a long road ahead of you.
Exactly. So I think
And
that's a
I've
big
never
thing.
done a trigonometry problem.
Never.
Like
Yeah.
Sheesh.
I don't remember anything like from trig, dude.
Yeah.
like yeah, it's just
So what I was gonna comment on, those are really 3 really good points.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all for that. But so my last guest that I had on the podcast, he was talking about hate and how he actually loves hate. He loves being a hater because he feels like hate motivates. It motivates people.
Yeah. I see.
You know, and I think he's doing it in a more respectable sense, but he's like, look, I think we need haters because oftentimes the haters will tell us what we're bad at, what we can improve on. And the hate could push you to be better. So just playing devil's advocate, you know.
Like LeBron, all the haters he has.
I mean, I think both love and hate is important.
Yeah.
I just want people to have an opinion. I think if someone is like
Straight like not giving you.
if they just don't care, if there is no opinion, if they're just neutral, I think that's bad.
Yeah.
Because that means you're making no impact.
No, that's a fact.
Same thing with like our podcast, your podcast. I think if someone doesn't love or hate it, that's bad.
Yeah, you don't want to be lukewarm in this world.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That means you're not. Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, we can wrap this thing up, man.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you guys hopping on the podcast.
Yeah.
Usually,
this
what
was
I
fun.
have
Yeah.
before we go, what I have my guests do for the audience is leave the audience one last piece of advice. Maybe it's something that we missed that we didn't touch upon.
Okay.
It can be stock related, it can be life related, whatever that it may be. We can keep it short, brief, to the point, and we'll end it on that note.
For me, it would be do what you love, no matter what anyone tells you.
For me,
wait,
invest.
Hold. You said it a little too quick.
Oh, you want to elaborate?
Yeah, a little bit more.
I mean, to me, I think if there's something you really want to do, no matter what anyone tells you, if they think, for me, most people tell you can't do something because they can't do it themselves or because they couldn't do it themselves.
Love that. Yeah.
And I really do think if you just put your full effort, your hard work, you're able to do something. I think people are very quick to just give up.
Love that. That's good.
Damn, Marlo, you always taking mine. like Nike said, just do it.
Okay.
Just do it. Invest in yourself and just do it. Whatever you had a dream of, just do it. Just go for it.
One life.
Like one life. Like we've always said, since we're at a young age, we wanted to do something and we never did until at our like what we are now. We just let's just do it, man. Let's just go for it.
Fuck it. Yeah.
Like whether it works out or not, at least
Nothing
we get to
lose.
say that we did it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Somewhat sticking to the theme here. Chase your potential. Life isn't this, either or that a lot of people think it is. You don't have to be rich or a good person. Why not be rich and a good person? It's not as black and white as people think it is. In fact, it's not black and white at all. So chase your potential. Whatever it is you want to do, you could do multiple things, be multiple things. It doesn't have to be one or the other. Yeah. Most of the time it can be and, it's not or.
So you don't have to shut up and dribble. You feel me?
Love that.
So
dope. Where can people follow you guys? Where can people contact you guys if they want to ask any questions? Or where can people find your podcast as well?
Ultrameter Group on IG, Twitter, YouTube. We have multiple podcasts on there.
Yep.
And obviously the House Rules podcast, the La Familia podcast, a bunch of the content, all on Ultrameter YouTube.
Yep.
YouTube and Twitch.
And Twitch. Oh, and Twitch.
Twitch.
Ultrameter Group. UMG. Yep.
Anything else?
That's it. Chris, we appreciate you for once again having us for the wine.
Blessing.
Another great podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, you're always welcome here, by the way. You're always welcome here.
Appreciate it. And on that note, it's your boy Chris, and I'll catch you guys next week. Peace.